Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you're trying to get a Chase business credit card with no docs, no documentation, there's some things that you really have to understand. One is that you don't need a business. That's right, you don't need a registered business to get a Chase Inc. business credit card, okay? And a lot of people are not aware of this. However, I would definitely tell you, I would actually get a registered business. The reason is because you'll have more opportunity to get other credit cards, especially if you don't have the best credit score. Okay, so there are credit cards you can get out there, but you can't be a sole prop. So that's the reason that I would tell you to get a registered business. All right, so that's number one. Number two, in terms of, speaking of a registered business, in terms of should you operate as an LLC, S Corp, a DBA, or a regular C Corp. Now, my thing is this, that I continue to tell my clients that there's nothing wrong with using a pass-through company like an S Corp or an LLC. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you want to be looked at as a growth type of company, a company that's actually growing, those structures are not the best structures to go after. All right. Now, if you need help with the proper structure, then we can definitely help you with that. All right. So the structure does matter. All right. Now, number two is, and this is one of the most important things. All right. The NAICS code. What industry you're going in, okay? Now, a lot of people would pick high-risk NAICS codes because they're looking and they're thinking that, hey, I'm trying to get into real estate, or I'm trying to do Toro in the car rental business, or they're trying to do consulting and stuff, but they may be choosing the wrong NAICS codes for those industries, okay? And so what it does, it kind of restricts you on the kind of capital you wanting to get. Now, for some of you all, you may be into MLM, multi-level marketing, right? So the thing about it, as with the SBA, a lot of times SBA does not recognize MLMs as real businesses. Okay, so then you as the individual, you have to come up with a different type of NAICS code for your business in order to describe it, in order for you to get funding, which a lot of people are not aware of. Okay, now another thing is in terms of the business name. That's right. The terms of the business name, what is it describing? How is it describing the business? Okay? And this is something that's very important as well, because a lot of people, when they name their business, they may put the word investment in it. They may put the word real estate in it. So when you have like certain words in your business name, then what it does in terms of the underwriters, they looking at you as a high risk, especially like, say you're in credit repair, right? So if you're in credit repair, a lot of businesses, and I had to do full clarification because my parent company has two things in it that they don't like. Like my parent company, Business Credit America, has the word credit in it. So even though we are an education company, they look at it as a high-risk type of business, right? Until they actually look at the paperwork and then the type of NAICS code. So once they see that, then they're like, oh, okay, right? So it's just certain things. When you're going into credit repair and you trying to get funding or whatever, because it's so regulated, or the word funding, if it's so regulated or whatever, it makes it more challenging for you to get funding. All right. Now, another thing, when you're trying to get these Chase no doc business credit cards, and in terms of people worry about the address, you do not need a commercial address. You can use your home address because of the dynamics of what has changed with the business industry, a lot of more people are home-based type of businesses and things of that nature, that commercial addresses are not necessary. So if you just want to have that separation from your home address and having like a virtual office and stuff, one thing I would tell you about the virtual office, you have to be very careful, because when banks run that address and they see it as a virtual office, that can be a high risk for the denial. The reason is because somebody else may have used that address prior to you. Since they used that address prior to you, what ends up happening is that they may have gotten credit cards and stuff with that financial institution at that bank. So that bank has this in their database, and so they would penalize you for it. Or, like I said, Dun & Bradstreet, notorious of putting other people's business information on your new company. So you have to be very careful when you're going for these virtual addresses. Now, in terms of phone number, is it good to have a phone number, a corporate phone number, an 800 number? I always say yes. It's very cheap. You know, you're only spending less than $5 a month for a phone number. So why not just get a corporate phone number and then have that number forwarded over to your main number? All right. Now, here's a couple things that are very important that most people they really don't know that it's important, but it is. Having a website. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but having a website, also on that website, having the NAICS code on that website really makes a difference. Now, another big thing is in terms of the type of email you put on the application. So if you put AOL, if you put Yahoo, if you put AT&T, and those are your type of emails or whatever, now you go into a separate database. Now, with this separate database, what ends up happening is that you are at a higher risk, because it has been documented that people with those type of non-professional emails end up defaulting more. So they can penalize you for that. Not only like your address of the zip code, because like I tell people, you and I can have the same makeup and credit file. But if I'm in a high risk zone, regional area, whatever, I may get less money than you, even though we're making the same amount of money. We have everything the same, but because I'm in a high risk zone, then they may only be allowing X amount of dollars for this institution, even if it's the same bank. So everybody's file is not the same. So that's something that you also have to look at. Now, in terms of with Chase, when people are going in to get these $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 credit cards and stuff, what they're not telling you is that they're not just walking straight in. I continue to tell you, you need to garden a relationship. Have a personal checking account, have a business checking account, making those small deposits, weekly, daily deposits. It really makes a difference. Now, another thing, if you're a brand new member to Chase, and I don't care if you have a high credit score, most of the time, they're going to give you less than $10,000 on a business credit card. I don't care how high the credit score is. It's not about the credit score. They are all about relationship. All right. And so when you first join them, they're usually going to pull your FICO, a TransUnion, and Experian. Okay. But if you already have an existing relationship, they're going to pull your Experian. Now, the average credit score, again, depending on how long you've been with them, some people may get a credit card with a 660 credit score. Now, with some people, they may have to have a higher credit score. And it also depends on how many credit cards you have, open revolving accounts you recently have. So again, the 524. But yes, you can go beyond the 524 because you can focus on business credit cards. All right. Now, if you have like authorized users and lines of credit or personal loans and stuff that you recently opened, you would have to probably call a recon, so they won't count those against you, so they can only account the open revolving accounts against you. Adding authorized users, they're not going to include that in terms of helping you boost up your credit score. They won't do that with a FICO H system. All right. Now, again, in reference to some of the things, like I said, with no docs, they will give you this funding, but it's all about the relationship. It's all about the relationship, and that's what people continue saying. Oh, you can go. Yes, you can go there and get up to $50,000, and they'll actually give you 2 business credit cards on one hard pull. So with one inquiry, you can get 2 business credit cards. I always tell people to go for the 0% interest credit card, so you're not paying anything on the loan. But for most people, again, if you're trying to go to Chase, if you're starting out and you don't have a loan history with them or whatever, then just keep in mind it's going to be less than $10,000. If you're trying to get over $10,000, then you're going to have to show a loan history with them. All right. Now, if you have any other question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.